The Duolingo English Test writing tasks can feel really difficult because many students focus on the wrong things. They do more mock tests, answer more questions, memorize advanced vocabulary, but don't improve very much. And this is where the 80-20 rule can help you. You see, in many areas of life, around 20% of your efforts create 80% of your results. And honestly, I think this is the same for the Duolingo English Test. But today, we're going to focus specifically on writing. So in this video, I'm going to show you 10 small but very important writing skills that will probably create most of your writing improvement. Okay, well, let's go. So tip 1, answer the question directly. And although tip 10 is probably my favorite, this might be the most important point. You see, many students lose points because they go off topic or they don't fully answer the question. So clear answers usually score better than complicated answers that do not really answer the task. Now, let me show you what I mean. Don't worry, we're not going to read all of this, but let's look carefully at the question. Are online friendships as valuable as in-person friendships? Why or why not? Support your opinion. So we need to know what the question is asking of us. This person, sadly, didn't answer the question. Okay? Their first line, online friendships have become much more common. We're not talking about if it's common or not. Okay? What are we talking about? Well, it's asking for an opinion, right? Are online friendships as valuable as in-person friendships? Yes or no? What's your opinion? And it's also a comparison. We are comparing between online and in-person, face-to-face, right? Why or why not? We give our reasons. Support your opinion. Support just means examples. So you should answer things like, are online friendships equally valuable, right? Just as valuable, just as important. Why or why not? What makes them stronger or weaker? And give examples. These are the criteria here. And I gave this example a score. So first, the content means, are you answering the question and developing your ideas? The second one, discourse coherence. That means organization and clarity of ideas. So is your writing organized and is it clear? Is it easy to understand? And grammar is grammar. Lexis just means vocabulary. And for that answer, well, as you can see, I gave the content part very low because it just didn't answer the question. So although there were no grammar mistakes and used very high vocabulary, the overall score would probably be around 90 to 105. So I don't recommend you write like this, right? Just using difficult grammar and high-level vocabulary, but not answering the question. So a much better answer that actually answers the question directly would be like this. So just one more time, let's read the question. Are online friendships as valuable as in-person friendships? Why or why not? Support your opinion. Ready? So this time we are going to read it because this is really important and it's going to help you. So, I think online friendships can be valuable, but they are usually not as strong as in-person friendships. One reason is that face-to-face communication feels more natural and personal. For example, when people spend time together in real life, they can understand emotions and body language more clearly. However, online friendships can still be very meaningful. Some people meet close friends online through games, language learning apps, or social media. In some cases, online friendships can even last for many years. Overall, I believe both types of friendship are important, but in-person friendships are usually deeper and more personal. So as you can see here, I give my opinion, I say why, I give examples, I also compare, I show the other side as well, because we are comparing, right? They're asking for a comparison in this question and a simple conclusion. I'm not using overcomplicated grammar, right? Really complicated grammar. I'm not using really difficult words. And what do you think the score is? Well, let's have a look. So content, we completely answered the question. So around 130 to 150. Right, discourse coherence, about 130 to 150. Our ideas were very clear and it was very organized, wasn't it? The grammar, about 125 to 140. So we didn't use really complicated grammar, but pretty good. Lexis, vocabulary, 120 to 135. So overall, I would say it's around 125 to 140. I'm not 100% sure because I scored this using the evaluation descriptors for the teacher's guide from Duolingo. So, but this is the general score for that answer, okay? So please remember, clear answers usually score better than complicated answers that do not really answer the question. Tip 2, use a simple, clear structure. You see, many students think they have to write like a university professor, but actually a simple structure is often much better. And a really useful method for this is PEEL. And PEEL just means point, explain, example, and link. So point, what's your point? What's your idea? Your opinion? So I think that, I believe that, in my opinion. Explain, say why. This is because, right? You don't always need this is because. There are many different ways. But next, example, you give an example. For example, for instance. And last is link. So here we go back to our main idea, connect it, and give a summary. With link, sometimes we will link to the next paragraph as well. I will show you what I mean, okay? Don't worry. But usually it means a summary, okay? And we make that summary by linking to our main idea, right? So overall, I think that. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Have a look at this example. What role do community centres play in society? So what's their purpose? What do they do in society? Explain the importance of community centres and provide examples of their impact, their influence. Okay, so first look at this answer. We're not going to read all of it, okay? But first, look at the first sentence. Do you see how long that sentence is? And they also use lots of difficult words and have so many different ideas in the first sentence, right? And paragraph. You can see about educational opportunities, social interaction, socio-economic backgrounds. And as they are listing things that community centres do, they suddenly switch to technological dependence. So here, educational opportunities, social interaction, and developmental support for individuals from different socio-economic backgrounds. They should give some examples and go deeper into their answer. Also down here, again, they start talking about activities. So organized language classes, sports activities, and cultural programs. And I want them to, again, go deeper. But instead, they switch to another idea. And emotional well-being is also important in local communities. So you can see here, there is not much organization at all. It's important for me to say that this answer doesn't have any problems with grammar or vocabulary, but has real problems with organization, developing their ideas, and clarity. Are they clear in what they want to say? And they're not very good at communicating their ideas very well. So let's have a look at the score I gave this person. Content was still pretty high. High because they listed a lot of different things. Grammar was excellent. Lexis, the vocabulary, was also very good, but their organization, right, and clarity of ideas was very, very low, and that pulled them down. That made their score end up being around 95 to 110, when really, looking at how smart this person is, they should be getting a 150 to 160 overall. So now I'm going to show you a much better answer that uses a simple structure and clear ideas. So let's have a look. So the question is the same, and let's read it together. And we're going to focus on peel. All right, so we have the start. One reason community centers are important is that they help people feel less isolated. So we are giving our opinion straight away, right? This is our point. Next, many people, especially elderly people, sometimes feel lonely and do not have enough social interaction in their daily lives. Now we are explaining what we mean by people feel less isolated, right? That means they feel alone. You could say, this is because, if you want, this is because many people, right, like this, if you want. And here's the example. For example, some community centers organize weekly coffee mornings or exercise classes where older people can meet others and make new friends. That's our example. And here we have the link. I want you to focus here because it's important. Ready? Because of this, community centers can improve emotional well-being and create a stronger sense of community. So that's our, like, okay, so what? Therefore, our overall opinion. And then the last sentence is the link. They can also support young people in positive ways. So this is linking to the next paragraph. What do you think the next paragraph will be about? That's right, supporting young people in positive ways. Let me show you the next paragraph. So community centers are also important because they help young people develop useful skills and stay active. So that's our next point. So our first paragraph was a loop, a circle of peel, and now we start a new one. So next is our explain. Many centers offer sports activities, homework clubs, language classes, and creative workshops for teenagers and children. Okay, that's our explain. Again, you can say this is because if you want. For example, our example. And you can change it as well. We could say, for instance, okay, changing our words. For example, a local homework club can help students improve academically while also giving them a safe place to spend time after school. So we had our point, we explained, we gave an example, and now we have our link. So we give our, we link it back to our main idea. So therefore, as a result, overall, like it's kind of so what, all right? So as a result, community centres can help young people become more confident and connected to their community. Now, that is the link. You could end there, but this person gave a general conclusion, concluding both paragraphs. And this is really good as well. You can do this. Overall, community centres make society stronger by giving people support, opportunities, and a place to connect with others. So I hope you can see how well structured this answer really is. And I gave this score a 140 to 155, okay, because it was high in all areas. Okay, and this is what you want, really. So please remember, a simple structure makes your writing easier to follow and organize. All right, tip 3 is learn to paraphrase naturally. And paraphrasing just means saying the same thing in a different way. And this is so important in the Duolingo English test, especially for interactive listening and writing tasks. So students who can express ideas in different ways naturally sound more advanced. They avoid repetition, saying the same things, and they show real understanding of the task, right? The listening or the text or the question. Okay, so I want to show you a weak answer. So here's a question from interactive writing. How does the choice of music during cultural events or celebrations reflect, right, show the values and traditions of your culture? And they said, the choice of music during cultural events or celebrations reflects the values and traditions of my culture because music is important in celebrations. So I hope you can see that they're just copying the question. And you're not going to lose loads of points, but it's far better, it's much better to paraphrase, show your own ideas, show that you can create new sentences, and using synonyms, similar words, also shows your range of vocabulary, right? You're showing off your skills. So here is a much better answer. The music people play during important celebrations often shows what is important in their culture and traditions. Firstly, okay, so I really recommend you practice doing this, and let's practice together just a few questions, okay? So I want you to paraphrase this idea. Community centres help people feel less isolated. So remember what isolated means, right? It means feeling alone. And pause the video and write your answer in the comments. Okay, please write it in the comments and I will reply. Okay, I hope you did that. So maybe you could just say, community centres help people feel less alone. Already that is better. But another way to paraphrase is using the opposite, right? The opposite meaning. Let me show you. Community centres can make people feel more connected to others. Okay, so less isolated, less alone. Well, that means more connected, doesn't it? So sometimes using the opposite is also a really good way to paraphrase. Right, let's try another one. Technology has changed communication. So again, pause the video and try it for yourself. Focus on a different word to the word change or to the word communication. Okay, go. All right, I really hope you wrote down your answer in the comment section. Here is a high-level way to answer. So, modern technology has completely transformed the way people interact with each other. So here we're changing the word change with transform, and communication, the way people interact with each other. But even just changing one word is good. All right, it's a really great way to paraphrase. Now, shall we do one more? I think so. You can do it. All right, ready? Many students struggle with time management at university. So maybe think of different ways to express the word struggle and time management. Okay, pause the video, go. All right, well done. My answer, a lot of university students find it difficult. Okay, that's a synonym for struggle, right? Find it difficult to manage their time. So here I'm changing time management into a verb phrase, right? Manage their time effectively. So remember, if you want to get higher points, don't copy, paraphrase naturally. Tip 4, avoid repeating the same vocabulary. Many students think they need advanced words in order to get a very high score, but using a range of different words is often more important, and simple changes can help. And this makes your writing sound more natural and interesting. Let me show you an example. So I'm going to read it and you tell me what the problem is. Ready? Community centres are very good for communities. They give people good opportunities to meet others and learn good skills. Community centres are also good for young people because they provide good activities after school. What's the problem? That's right. I used the word good far too many times. So I want you to think of different words, right? What words can we use instead? Well, first we could say valuable, right? It's very valuable for communities. Next, useful. Here, instead of learn good skills, we change the meaning a little bit to new skills. Next, beneficial for young people. So I want you to notice that I didn't use extremely difficult vocabulary. I just used a wider range of words. And this kind of thing will really help you get a higher score on the test. So let me show you some more examples. So we already did good. For important, we can say significant or meaningful. Bad can be harmful, negative, damaging. Help, we can say support, assist, encourage. Big can be major, large, or also the word significant. If you want to practice this, you can use tools like Arno AI. So go over to Arno, there's a link in the comments, and you can ask Arno AI to give you some more natural synonyms and different phrases when you practice writing. So just remember, stop using the same words. Tip 5, fix your most common grammar mistakes. You do not need perfect grammar to get a high score, and even the official DET scoring guide suggests that students can still get a high score even if they make small grammar mistakes as long as their writing is clear and easy to understand. But for us, I want you to focus on fixing those grammar mistakes that you keep making over and over again. So that's what we're going to focus on. Some examples from my students are very simple mistakes, like articles, the and a. So here, I went to store yesterday. What should it be? Yeah, I went to the store yesterday. And I even read some very high-level students make these simple mistakes. Okay, next, verb tenses. Just check your tenses after you finish writing. Okay, so here, last year I studied in London. Of course, it is studied, right? Of course. Sometimes subject-verb agreement, that's a big problem, especially if you don't have that in your language. So for I, he, she, they, he go to school every day, should be, he goes to school every day. Another interesting one is sentence fragments. Think of fragments as an incomplete sentence. It's broken up. It looks like a sentence, but the idea is not finished. So here, because community centres are important, we need the full sentence. Community centres are important because they help people connect. Okay, those are a few common mistakes I see at the kind of 90 range, 90 to 100. Next one is a classic mistake I see all the time, and it's forgetting commas and periods. Did you see where I forgot my periods in this section? Let me know where it is in the comments. So here, many people feel lonely, so community centres can help them. Where should the comma be? Well, we have two sentences here. Two sentences, and they are connected with the word so. And here we would usually have it before that connecting word. So it's here. Many people feel lonely, comma, so community centres can help them. So remember, focus on fixing your most common grammar mistakes first. And the best way to do this is through Arno, because our grammar tutor shows you exactly which mistakes you're making and also gives you corrected answers. Okay, so please go over to Arno and have a look how great it is and how much it can help you improve your grammar. Tip 6, improve your writing speed. This is a skill that many students do not practice, but can really improve your score on the test. Let me show you. So faster typing means it gives you more time to think, it reduces stress, it helps you develop your ideas more clearly, and it gives you more time to check your mistakes. So you can practice this with typing speed websites like Monkey Type or Play Type Racer. There are many different sites you can use, but honestly, and here's the really important part, so please listen, not everyone has the time to learn how to touch type, right? That's when you're typing and you can just look at a screen and type. Because in the real exam, you are allowed to look down at the keyboard, right? You are thinking and creating ideas. You are not just copying words like on one of these typing websites, okay? So what I recommend and what I think is one of the best ways to practice is actually practicing answering real DET writing questions. And you can practice for free on Arno. It will show you how many words you need, your word count. So for example, for interactive writing, the first question is 120 words, right? Recommended 120 words. And part 2 is 90 words. So you would type your answer, okay, in the time you are given, and then note down, right, write in your notebook how many words you wrote down for that question. And if you keep doing this, you will improve, you will get faster. So both types of practice can help, but practicing real DET questions is usually more useful for the actual exam. So remember, typing speed can have a huge effect on your writing score. All right, tip 7 is understand the test format deeply. That means I really want you to understand the test, right? We understand the game in order to play the game or win the game, right? So students improve really fast when they understand timing, right? You understand that you might have 35 seconds to speak or 5 minutes to write down your answer. These are really important. You need to understand the scoring criteria. So that's how they are evaluating different parts of the test. And we have a really good blog on this. I will put a link in the comments. Okay, please have a look. It will be called Scoring Criteria. Click on it and try to understand the different parts of the test. Next is task expectations. So this will really help you to improve fast when you know what each task is expecting you to do, right? Is it an opinion question, a comparison? What is it expecting you to talk about? All right. The next one is common question patterns. And again, go over to Arno because we have thousands, really thousands of common questions and the patterns that will get you really used to seeing these types of questions. You will feel very comfortable answering the same types of questions. You know, a student with slightly weaker English can often outperform, so do better, than someone with really strong English, but a weak strategy. So they don't really understand the test. So remember, understanding how the test works can really improve your score much faster. Tip 8 is stop trying to sound too advanced. And I see so many students doing this when taking the Duolingo English test, because a lot of students just use very unnatural vocabulary. They force very complicated grammar. They memorize phrases and templates. Now, this is a really big problem, and I know so many of you are using templates, but I actually have a better plan for you. If you want to know about my template plan, let me know in the comments by writing templates. If we get enough people, I will do a video on it. It will really help you actually. So yeah, this often makes their writing less clear and less natural. So in many cases, simple and clear English is much better than complicated, awkward English. So remember, trying too hard to sound advanced can actually hurt your score, and clear communication is usually much, much more important. Tip 9 is learn useful linking words and phrases. This is very useful and easy to use straight away. I'm not saying memorize 200 connectors, no, but learn 5 to 10 really natural and flexible words that you can use everywhere. I'll make a PDF of some of my favorite words, okay, for you to use. And just choose 5 or 10 of the ones you like. So yeah, here are some really simple examples. You know all of these phrases. If you want, you can use slightly different words, but mean the same things. So instead of however, we have nevertheless. For example becomes for instance, okay? Because of this becomes consequently. In my opinion, from my perspective. As a result, therefore. On the other hand, in contrast. Generally speaking, broadly speaking. But like I say, I'll make a PDF for you and please have a look and choose the words and phrases that you want to use. So remember, a few linking phrases can make your writing and speaking much clearer. Okay, it is time for tip 10. If you are watching, let me know in the comments by writing, I made it. This is my favorite tip, and it is read high-scoring answers carefully. Many students spend all their time writing, but never carefully study strong answers. But reading high-scoring DET answers can help you notice structure, useful vocabulary, natural phrases, organization, clear explanations much faster. This is one of the fastest ways to understand what good DET writing actually looks like. It's actually the exact same thing with other skills. For example, chess. So in chess, even the best players still study master games, right? The masters of the past, like Kasparov, Karpov, Fischer, Tal. These are just some chess grandmasters. But they study those games because they want to learn what a perfect game might look like. And it's the same for you. You want to see what a perfect answer looks like. So instead of just answering more questions, spend some time analyzing some strong answers. And a great way to do that is on Arno, because one, the AI can show you what your answer could look like as a strong answer, but also you can compare your answers to other people on the platform. So you can also see other people's real answers. So this will really, really help you improve. So remember, studying strong examples can improve your writing much faster than just doing more practice questions. The last thing I want to say is, remember that a small number of writing skills will probably create the most amount of your DET writing improvement. Thank you for watching. Good luck on your test, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.